Hi, all. This is Chapter 1 Introduction to Project Management. The textbook goes over all that's needed for the PMP certification, which is a certification to become a project manager. Now, the certification is not required for this class, but for those of you who intend to become project managers, you might want to take it sometime in the future. So, for this certification, you need to know the definitions. You'd also need to know the definitions for the quiz. This certification is given by the Project Management Institute, also known as the PMI, and their website is down here, pmi.org. So the definitions you need to know are, what's a project, what's a program, what's a portfolio. So first, the definition of a project, you need to differentiate it from things that employees do on an everyday basis. For example, an accountant on an everyday basis will be doing their accounting. But a project, on the other hand, has a definite start and end date. For example, let's say a project starts on March 18th, ends on December 15th, and in this duration, they're going to increase sales through a new mobile app. So that's a project that's different from what people do on a day to day basis. A group of related projects make a program. For example, let's say that an organization has multiple projects going on. One is a mobile app, one's a website, one's a big data project, or one is about Google AdWords and Google Analytics. So they can use this data generated in the big data project to improve their website, for example. So in that case, they'd want to group these two projects together and make a program. So that's a program and how it's different from a project. Now, a portfolio, on the other hand, is all the projects this organization is doing at one time, whether they are related or not related. So, including unrelated things like, let's say, they're automating their finance and accounting, that would also be part of the portfolio. So, you need to know these definitions for quiz one. Those of you who are going on to do the project management certification, you need to know these definitions for that as well. Right. The next thing you need to know is who a project sponsor is. So this is one thing that throws off some students. The project sponsor is going to be from your client organization. So, for example, the nonprofits that you contacted who are going to give you your project, the project sponsor is somebody from that organization, most probably the person who'll be working with you. So let's say if you're building a website or something, the person who's giving you the requirements for the website is going to tell you, the website is going to have all this content, all these pictures, all these videos. That person is the project sponsor. The project manager, on the other hand, will be from your team. So this person will be in charge of, figuring out, okay, if by next time we meet with the client, we have to get all this done. So, all right, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. So this can be, one person in the project taking up the leadership, or all of you can decide this together. But uh, in the real world, quote unquote, there'll be a project manager assigned, somebody who typically have this PMP certification. Right. The next thing you need to know is the difference between technology projects and non-technology projects. So an IT or an information systems project involves technology, and that's what makes it different because typically these organizations are run by older people who are not familiar with all this changing technology. Things that your generation is intimately familiar with, which is why these projects come to you, and which is why people of your age are in such high demand. Think of somebody who's older, think of somebody older in your family who's not that familiar with technology, who keeps asking you for help. The clients that you'll get are typically like this. Not just the clients that you're going to be looking at for this class, for the projects, the nonprofits that you're looking at, but once you start working, those people as well. So now, they won't be that familiar with technology. Once you start building their website or start helping them with their database, and they start seeing it, they'll start changing their mind about things. They'll realize, oh, this is possible. I didn't know you could do this. Oh, I thought you could do that, but actually that's difficult to do. So let's change this around. You might give them suggestions. So the project, unlike a class project, will keep changing. So this is the big problem with technology projects. The project keeps changing.